Welcome into another edition of the Peyton Chatagnier Show, presented by The Rogue. I'm Neil McCready. You might guess that is Peyton Chatagnier, who was just one Tim Elko away from being the MVP of the Coral Gables Regional. We'll talk about that and other things here on what should be a fun edition of the show. Before we launch into it, I do want to tell you we're brought to you and have been brought to you all season long by The Rogue, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, or therogue.com. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, you name the brand, they pretty much have it. They've got stylists that hand select stuff. They'll help you pick out the wardrobe that's right for you, whether you're getting ready for like a June wedding or whatever the case may be. You start to think about football season and your apparel for that. They've got the college gear there as well. Maybe you're looking for something to wear to the Super Regional in Hattiesburg this weekend. Whatever the case may be, they can take care of you at The Rogue, therogue.com, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson. I always start off by asking Peyton, how are you? I already know how you are, so what's up?
That is true. I'm doing great. It was awesome. Last weekend was unbelievable.
So, I mean, I know you're happy, but Elko goes off on the last day and he strips the trophy right out of your grasp. I mean, the thing is in your hands, and then he decides to, what did he OPS like 2,900 or something for the weekend. I mean, otherwise that's yours. I mean, I know you're happy, but it had to be a little part of you that's like, dude.
Look, he won it. He won the regional MVP last year. And he got it this year again. I mean, of course he had to hit 3 home runs. I mean, what a selfish guy he is. No, I'm just kidding. It was awesome. And we needed a lot of those big home runs. And I mean, honestly, it was cool. It would be cool to get the MVP, but it's way cooler that we both got to put up some good numbers and help this team win.
So let's go through the week a little bit. You guys get down there thinking you're going to play on Friday, and then Mother Nature said, nope, you're not playing on Friday. As the rain piled up and you didn't know when you were going to play and that kind of thing, what was kind of going through your head a little bit?
Coach B from the beginning, like before we even got there, we all knew it was going to rain. Coach B had said, like, look, we don't know when we're playing. He said, I would much rather you be ready to play on Friday versus already go ahead and get checked out and then try to get your mind right again for whenever it is that we're going to play. So the whole time we kind of just stayed, in that game like mindset until they officially told us that the game's, we're going to get pushed back or whatever. But it was fun. I mean, we got to spend a couple extra days in Miami, or a couple more off days in Miami, which is awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys went to the Marlins game. What was that park like? I've never been to it.
The park itself was really cool. There was probably the same amount of people at our regional that there was at the game, which really kind of sucks. But it was a lot of fun, and it was cool to see a former catcher, Nick Fortes, hit a bomb there. It was a good time. It was cool. It was awesome.
All right, so get to the regional on Saturday. You guys play Arizona. You knew it was a huge game. They knew it was a huge game. I mean, the path to winning one of these regionals, I think I saw the stat, it's 82%. And if I'm off by a percent, anybody, I apologize in advance. I think it's 82% of teams that start a regional 2-0 win the regional. So, I mean, there's some math on your side there when you win on the first 2 days. And you guys are playing in the 2-3 game. Miami had already won. You're down 4-2, starting to get kind of late, and you come up to the plate for pretty big at-bat. And take us through it a little bit.
We knew like winning that first game is huge. Because once you get into the losers bracket, the road to winning the regional just gets so much harder, especially our regional we had because of all the different rain delays. And like Arizona, we finished the game against Arizona, got to bed at probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then Arizona had to turn around and play against early in the morning. They probably got like 4 hours of sleep at most. So it was huge to win that game for us. But that exact moment, it was really cool. And Coach B had talked about it. That pitcher that they were throwing was really good. And the main thing that we had to do, and I always talk about it, but it's true, is attack the fastball. And that was the main thing. Coach B had told me right before I went up there, hey, be on time for this fastball. And he threw one, luckily over the plate, and I got a good swing off it. But it was a lot of fun.
Do you even remember going around the bases on that?
No, and that was the funny part is Justin Bench. So he was out there and everybody, we were doing the whole boom thing. And after I boomed whoever it was, Kemp, I think, I picked up the bat and Justin is screaming at me, touch home plate. And so I ran back and touched home just in case. I guess I didn't touch it. I thought I did. And in the replay I did, but he was freaking out and everybody was freaking out. Like, I don't even remember exactly how it all went down, but all I remember is after I touched home, because I wasn't sure on how the rules worked of like, I'd already boomed Kemp and then I've already picked up the bat and I started walking towards our dugout. I was like, am I going to be called out even though I touched home plate if I didn't the first time? But it was fine. Nobody said anything and it was good. But yeah, you kind of just black out in those moments. Like, you don't even exactly remember how it goes down.
But that was kind of the moment you guys needed, right? I mean, you needed someone to step up and get a big hit, whether it was you or someone else. And it kind of seemed from that point forward, you guys just really played great baseball the rest of the way. I mean, I know you had another huge hit. I think it was the second hit was the double, right? Later in the game, that kind of put it away. Do you even remember anything about that? Or at that point, are you starting to get into it? Because I was telling you about this a minute ago. The reason I'm kind of asking it that way is Nick Suss, the Clarion Ledger, had a stat today. He kind of broke down your team's stats since May the 1st. And your OPSing, for people who don't know, that's on-base percentage plus slugging percentage creates OPS, which is pretty much the one number that baseball people look at analytically, offensively, to say how productive someone is being. And your OPSing, it's like 1160. I might be off a few points, which is an absurd number. It's a phenomenal number. Does the ball look like a beach ball to you right now? I mean, what's kind of going on with you at the plate that obviously wasn't happening for you earlier in the year when you were probably OPSing in the 500s or low 600s? You were, scuffling a little bit. And I mean, I think it's a testament to you that you've worked through that and gotten to this place, but it must feel different at the plate right now.
Oh, no doubt. And I talked about it a little bit before, but how Coach Clem, our hitting coach, kind of worked with me on certain things and just trying to get more comfortable in the box and get my foot down early and blah, 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 blah. But it is so true. Like, TJ asked me today, mechanics, while we were hitting in the cages, like, what are you doing differently? Like, what is it? Like, do you feel any different or what are you doing? And I'm like, honestly, I have changed a little bit, but it's just the feeling. It's hard to explain for people that haven't necessarily played baseball, but you just have whenever you feel good, like you have a level of confidence and just a different mindset whenever you're up to the plate. And that's kind of the biggest thing for me to try to get out of a slump, is try to get back into that aggressive, confident mindset whenever you're hitting. Because you might not necessarily even have to change your actual swing. Like, it is so crazy the amount of times that not just me, just anybody on the team, one day will be like, man, my swing feels terrible. Like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I can't, touch the ball. And then the next day you don't change a thing and all of a sudden you feel great. Like, it's so weird how baseball works. But you just kind of have to stick with it, especially when you're in that slump and that type of thing. But yeah, I do feel a lot different in the box right now, for sure.
Then on Sunday, you guys played this pitcher's duel game that was a fantastic baseball game to watch. The kid from Miami, Palmquist, I think, he looked like he was brutal for left-handers. I mean, the look for a left-handed hitter had to be – that was rough. And
yeah, Miami's
he was tough on everybody. Yeah. Go ahead.
They were really good. I mean, they rolled out some dudes, and that's, again, like, that's what's so hard about this regional is they had to, after we beat them, they had to go and waste all their guys against Arizona just to try to win. So if they were to play against us, they don't have the same guys. And same with Arizona. But we knew Miami's pitching staff was going to be good, and they were really good. Luckily, our pitchers pitched really well too.
Yeah, talk about that. You guys, 3 huge outings. I mean, Hunter Elliott was terrific, and then the name escapes me from. I'm sorry. The middle reliever came in, Nichols.
Yep.
And he was really good, and then of course Brandon was as good as he's been of late, which has been elite lately. To win a 2-1 game, I mean, you kind of. I'm assuming you sort of went into that game knowing there was a real chance this was a low-scoring, tight game where kind of every at-bat mattered.
Yeah, no doubt. For sure. I've said it before too. Like, our pitching staff just looks way better right now. I feel like we have a lot of depth in the pen and everything. And Josh Mallitz has been unbelievable these past couple outings. I mean, he's he probably threw 45 of 50 sliders, and but it's just unhittable right now. It's really cool to watch him succeed. All our pitchers do well, and then you have just that level of confidence when BJ gets out there and it's the ninth inning, and it's never easy. It's never easy for any of the guys that try to close out a game. It's just for some reason that's the way the Rebs like to win games is whenever you get 2 men on and then strike out 3 after that. But it's awesome. Yeah, our pitchers are doing great.
Did you know when you went to bed that it was Arizona and not Miami on Monday? Or
I stayed up. It was tough to not. It's tough to go to sleep and not know who you're playing. Like I stayed up and watched the whole game until it was over. And once we knew that, we just kind of rolled with it. We had our same hitters meeting and everything like that, but we kind of already watched a lot of their pitchers, so it wasn't too much of a change for us.
And then, of course, you had a dominant offensive performance on Monday, which was 22 runs. I think it's an Ole Miss record for a postseason game. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it other than there had to be quite a validating moment, I'm guessing, for you guys as you realize you're going to win that game and you're just finishing out the inning. I mean, you're a team that wasn't that far removed from being kind of left for dead, and you weren't far removed at all from having a 5-day wait to see whether you got in or not and all that stuff. I mean, it had to be, I don't know, you tell me what the feeling was for you guys when you had it won and you ultimately won it and all that stuff. What was that like? It
is really cool to just be able to kind of prove everybody wrong, to be honest. Like it is super cool to look at all the tweets of people saying we shouldn't be in and we screwed some other teams and whatever. And like, we don't make the decision. We just hope we get in, but it's super cool to be able to look at them now and be like, you messed up. But the game itself, on the last day, it was unbelievable. Like everybody was hitting well, and somebody that I think might not get as much credit is Garrett Wood. Today, or that weekend, was his first start ever as a Rebel, and he did well. He did his job. He went 1 for 3, I believe, 2 walks, something like that.
He had a huge at bat in that 5-run. Was it 5th or 6th inning when you guys kind of
something like that? Yeah,
y'all blew it open. That was a 10 pitch walk where he fouled off a couple of pitches and more than a couple, actually. It was a really strong at bat on his part. Yeah,
but that's what's cool about this team is especially right now, like we have confidence in everybody and anybody can step up in that big moment. But yeah, this team's going to be great.
So there's only 16 teams left, Peyton. That's it. There's 16 teams left, and you're one of them. You're 2 wins away from Omaha. To get them, you got to go to Southern Miss. They've had a historic season for their program. I know you've seen them earlier in the year. The atmosphere down there is going to be, I don't know, berserk, bananas, whatever word you want to use. It's going to be crazy, which I'm going to guess that for you guys, that's kind of fun.
Oh, it is so much fun. And last time we went down there, even, when there wasn't it was like a midweek game or something.
Yeah, it was. It's like a Tuesday night or something, or Wednesday. Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was so toxic, and the fans were getting into it and yelling at us. And I might have said something at one of the fans, and oh man, it just makes you play so much harder, and it gives you a little bit more of an edge. It's going to be so much fun there. I can't. Last time we went, we broke the attendance record there, and I don't know how much more people they can cram into that spot, but I'm sure it's going to be like sardines in there. It's going to be awesome. And
so, how much family do you have coming?
I will have my mom and dad coming, and they got to go to Miami as well. They left the last day. Well, they were supposed to leave the day before, then they changed their flights and whatever, and then they left before the end of the game. So they didn't get to see the end of it, but hopefully they'll be there this whole weekend. And then I have my girlfriend and her family coming as well.
I mean, obviously, I know the goal is to win the whole thing, but the holy grail in college baseball is to get to Omaha, to be able to get to the College World Series and have a chance to compete for the championship. You're 2 wins away after all that you guys have been through over the course of this season, from number 1 to 7-14 in the league it got desperate to where you are today. It's kind of, what's the confidence level? I'm guessing it's sky high. What's the feeling around the guys right now?
I think you're completely right about, like, everyone literally is saying, hey, we are 2 wins away from doing something that hasn't been done in a really long time. And then, we're only a couple wins away from doing something that nobody's ever done for Ole Miss. So it's going to be really cool. And we keep telling ourselves like they're going to come out with a crazy story about this team because we're going to shock everybody. So I think we all have a ton of confidence, and I think we all believe in ourselves and know if we play our game right and play like we know we're capable of doing, we can do it.
Are you sort of conditioned by the fact that you guys were 7-14 when you left? I guess it was Fayetteville when you got you. I remember you on that show said, "Hey, we've got to go 7-2."
Yeah,
and then that's kind of must win at that point, right? I mean, you're thinking every day we have to win today. This isn't we have no losses to give away, really.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, and you were right. I mean, you had to go 7-2, and you did. 6-3, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, yeah, we wouldn't be here.
So are you kind of conditioned to we have to win today? Did that kind of help you guys maybe prepare for it? I know that's not the way that you want to do it. You'd rather have Tennessee's route to this, but did it kind of make you a little more conditioned to the pressure of every day being kind of do or die?
I never really even thought about it that way, but you're probably right. And like, not even just that, but just being the underdogs the whole time has probably, conditioned us to be able to play well. The season has been so weird. Like we've been up and down and all over the place. But hopefully, and I think everybody is from just talking to the team, like nobody cares where you're ranked or what your numbers were before, postseason. Like at this point, and I've said it even the past couple shows, like the postseason baseball is just so much different than regular season. So anybody can win on any given day. And we know that. Did
you watch any other regionals after you were, because there were some crazy regionals around the country, man. I mean, you guys your path was kind of clear and simple, but there were some other teams that it was a little hairy, like Southern Miss and LSU and Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Vanderbilt. I mean, there was some.
The one I loved most was the Texas State against Stanford. Yeah. And that would have been. I know a couple guys. Texas State's not too far from my house back home, so I know a couple guys on the team, and I was pulling for them so hard. I wanted them to win, and then, that was such a crazy game. But we didn't get to watch too much because, I mean, we were at the field the last day. We were at the field for probably 9 hours, just sitting around waiting and messing around. There's nothing we could really do, so it's tough to get to watch. But it was cool, and that's I think college baseball is so much fun. Those games, if you just look at those highlights of all those games. Not a lot of them were like our last game that we played. Like they were all close games and really fun to watch.
You nervous right now or more excited?
I'm more excited than I am nervous, but if you were to interview anybody and they said they weren't nervous, they're lying. Like you can't not be nervous right now. This is the biggest game of the year, the biggest game that I've had to play in. But it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be, I love the atmosphere and I love that competitive nature of that whole thing. It's going to be awesome.
What's kind of your scouting report on that team? I know you've seen them a little bit over the years.
The thing with us, or a thing with them, is we haven't necessarily seen a lot of their starters because we've always played them in the middle of the week. So I don't know too much about like the actual team itself, or the actual pitchers that we'll face. But I know they're a solid team. Obviously, they just beat LSU in a really high intensity game. But I think if we play the game, we should. If we play the game like we should win.
You mentioned some of the doubters. There's also been people around you guys that have supported you the whole way, that have really stuck with you. I know a lot of those people kind of reached out and that kind of thing over the course of the last few days. How cool was that part?
It is that part of it is really special. And we had some fans whenever we arrived back to Oxford that were there, with posters and taking pictures with us and stuff. And those are the people that have been there all year long. And that part is what makes playing here at Ole Miss so much fun. Is they're the haters and there's the people that don't think you can make it, whatever. But you do have the people that love you and truly care about us as a team and root for us all along. It's special.
Well, hey, I know you got some packing to do and you got to get ready to get down to Hattiesburg tomorrow for a media day on Thursday and then get started on Friday with as you mentioned, a huge series between those two teams. Pretty much everyone in Mississippi's either has a ticket or is trying to get a ticket. So you've got a ticket. You'll be out at second base. So we wish you the very best. I'll be cheering for you. I hope that it goes well, and I hope that next week we're talking about getting ready for you guys to go to Omaha.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Peyton Chatagnier, Ole Miss's second baseman. We will hopefully have another edition of this show on next week, where we'll be previewing even bigger games. So, again, thanks to The Rogue for sponsoring this throughout the course of this season. It's been really cool of Luke and all the people at The Rogue. It's therogue.com, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson. For Peyton Chatagnier, I'm Neil McCready. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.